All right, folks, welcome back to another exciting episode where we dive deep into the world of language learning. Today, we're tackling something that might sound simple but is incredibly powerful, the daily 25-word challenge. You know, it's like a workout for your brain, right? Just like hitting the gym. But instead, we're flexing our vocabulary muscles. So let's kick things off with our first word, hard. You know, I remember when I was in school, and I had this math test that felt like climbing Mount Everest. I mean, it was just so hard.
Wow, that sounds intense. So what made it so hard? Was it the questions or just the pressure of the test?
Great question. It was a combination of both, honestly. The questions were tricky, and the pressure was on because everyone was watching the clock. It's like when you're in a race, and you can feel everyone's eyes on you. You just want to do your best, but the stress can really mess with your head.
I can totally relate to that. I remember this time I had to give a presentation in front of my whole class, and I just blanked out. It was like my brain hit a wall.
Exactly. That's the kind of pressure that can make things feel hard. Now moving on to our next word, rather. You know, I'd rather stay home tonight than go out to a crowded place. It's like choosing comfort over chaos, right?
Oh, for sure. I mean, sometimes I'd rather binge watch a series than go out. It's like, why deal with the hassle when you can just chill at home?
Exactly. And that brings us to bill. Speaking of staying in, I just got my phone bill, and it's due next week. It's like a reminder that even when you're cozy at home, life still has its responsibilities.
Ugh, bills. They always sneak up on you, don't they? Like, I once forgot to pay my electricity bill, and I came home to a dark house.
Oh no, that's the worst. It's like a horror movie waiting to happen. But that's a great segue into our next word, lie. Teaching kids not to lie is so important. I mean, honesty is the foundation of trust, right?
Yeah. I remember when I was a kid, I told my mom I didn't eat the cookies, but I had crumbs all over my face.
Classic. Kids can be so funny with their excuses. Now, let's talk about need. I need a new phone, and it's like, how did we get to a point where our phones are practically an extension of ourselves?
Right? It's like, if I don't have my phone, I feel like I'm missing a limb.
Exactly. And speaking of missing things, leave is our next word. I once left my keys at home, and it was like a scene from a comedy movie trying to get back in.
Haha, I can totally picture that. It's like, you're standing there, and you just want to facepalm yourself.
Exactly. Now let's move on to last. Who was the last person to leave the room? It's funny how we often remember those little details, right?
Yeah. It's like in a group project, you always remember who left first.
Right. And that brings us to common. We have a lot in common with our friends, and that's what makes relationships so special.
Oh, totally. Like, I have this friend, and we both love the same weird TV shows.
That's awesome. Now, let's talk about lead. Can you lead us to the restaurant? It's like asking for guidance in life, right?
Yeah. It's like when you're lost in a new city, and you just need someone to show you the way.
Exactly. And speaking of journeys, fly is our next word. I will fly to Tokyo next month, and I can't wait.
Wow, that's so exciting. I've always wanted to go to Japan. What's the first thing you want to do there?
Oh, definitely try authentic sushi. It's like a culinary adventure. Now let's talk about science. Science is my favorite subject because it explains the world around us.
I love science too. It's like magic, but with real explanations.
Exactly. And that leads us to force. It takes a lot of force to open that door sometimes, just like it takes effort to push through challenges in life.
Oh, for sure. It's like when you're trying to lift weights for the first time.
Exactly. And finally, we have fire. There was a fire in the building last night. and it's a reminder of how quickly things can change.
Wow, that's intense. It's like a wake-up call to appreciate what we have.
Absolutely. And that wraps up our daily word challenge. Remember, every word you learn is a step towards mastering the language. Keep pushing those boundaries.